Tried to fill my father's shoes, but I had bigger feet. Line from song from Struggle Jennings has always resonated with me. In a weird scenario, I was abandoned twice. I was not well received by my adopted father, and obviously I was given away by my biological. And when we talk to a lot of men today, these father wounds and sometimes the father pressure really tears at the soul of them. When we look at the three type of father wounds that we see men feeling, they first begin with absentee, their father wasn't there. Abusive, maybe that father beat them, whether or they were verbally abusive, demeaning, talking down to them, and worse yet, maybe they sexually abused. Then we have passive. This is the father who was there in body, but he wasn't there in spirit. He wasn't there in connection. He wasn't there in love. He was around. He didn't lead. He didn't protect. He didn't affirm. And then ironically, we see so many men that their dad was great. And as awesome as that was, there's this intense pressure to be like their father. Maybe the father was uber successful and they don't feel like they can fill his shoes. And it's weird because you're sitting down here with men that are at total opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of how they looked at their father and the character and the man their father was. But in both scenarios, it can put an enormous weight and burden on the son. And so what we see is this will absolutely show up later in your life and it will shape your own experience. When you look at your fatherhood, are you reacting as a father? Are you intentionally leading? Are you trying to fill his shoes and be the man that he was to you? Or are you looking in this experience and saying, I want to be nothing like my dad? But a lot of people walk down this path and then it's weird. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They don't want to become like their father, but yet they seem to continue to make the same mistakes. We see this happening in marriages. Do you pull away when things get hard because that's what you saw? I grew up and I watched a father that was routinely cheated on. Now, the weird thing about my dad was, my adopted father, was that me and him didn't get along at all. But one thing that I know without the shadow of a doubt, that man loved my mother. He loved her. He adored her. And I watched her have an affair. Obviously she didn't have sex with the man in front of me, but everything else in front of me growing up and with the state's attorney. Now, we could go down a myriad of reasons about why she was having that affair. My brothers and my sister were chronically in trouble. And there is no doubt about it that they got generous pardons due to her relationship with that man. Did she have an affair with him because she just thought he was attractive? Did she have an affair with him because she thought it would benefit her children? Did she have an affair with him because she was bored at home? Who knows? But this is what I watched in a model. And so now we see in leadership, are you chasing your dad's approval? I recently watched a documentary. It's probably one of the best documentaries you can do. It's Earnhardt. It's on Amazon. And it was wild to see the dichotomy there between Junior and his sister. Because Junior just wanted to impress his father so bad. It's all he wanted to do. It's what he lived for. And he had a pretty good relationship with his dad. Ironically, they talk about from the people that knew Dale was that he was trying to impress his father, but that sin of his father, he couldn't fix it with his son. Now, his son, it manifested in a positive way, but it didn't in his daughter. His daughter wasn't even speaking with him at the time that he died. What I want you to understand is, regardless of where you fall in this, you don't need your father's permission to be the man God's called you to be. One of the things I think is so important is forgiveness, letting it go. I want you to think about this. I had an opportunity. My father, my biological father, was on his deathbed. I'd met him twice. And his sister contacted me and said he was dying. And I got on my motorcycle and I drove 4 hours to be at his bedside. And I sat down there and I listened to this. And he was weak, was not, probably struggled with some coherency, was in and out of it. But he told me, and I believe him. Some of you may think I'm naive for that, but I believe him. He told me that he loved me. that he always loved. And my father was a convicted felon, like his brother. And when my biological mother took me from him, he didn't fight because he thought that he would never win. And he had his problems. He was an alcoholic. And I'm sure he saw only the bad guy in them. But I went there, and I encourage all of you, the opportunity is ever presented to listen and to forgive. Do it. I drove those 4 hours back home, and I saw my town I grew up, which has become a ghost town, which that was heartbreaking. Literally a ghost town, not a single business open on Main Street. I couldn't begin to fathom how that is. And then I go and I visit this man who is my father, who looks like me, laying in his deathbed. And I look at this man, and he's telling me he loves me, and he's telling me he's sorry. And in that moment, the only thing I can say to this man is, it's okay. We are good. You don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. I did not want that man, even this man that I didn't have a relationship with. The only thing I share is genetics. I did not want this man going to his deathbed with that guilt. I didn't want it. I wanted him to feel forgiven. And it's my genuine prayer that he believed in God and he meets him on the other side, forgiven of his sins. But I wanted to forgive him first. I had to let him know, as much for myself, as much as it was for him. I forgive you. I know that it's easy to Monday morning quarterback. I know that hindsight is 20/20. I know it's easy for me to sit back and say there's no reason I would ever not be there for my kids. And there's not. I'd walk through the gates of hell for my kids, do anything for them. But I don't know his entire story. I don't know what he come up. There's so many things that I do in this life, whether consciously or subconsciously, because of the scars and the trauma that I have. And we continue to try to unpack this. I think if you've gone through anything significant in your life, I've been molested, I've been in war, I've been a firefighter, I've worked on kids as they're bleeding out. Like I've been abandoned, adopted, I've been homeless. I've had all of these traumas that have shaped me in ways that I don't even truly understand. And I still go to counseling. I still look to unpack it. And I'm way better than I was back in the day, but I'm not totally healed. And the truth is, I don't know if I ever will be. I don't know his entire story. I don't know what put him in that place and the mindset that said, it's better if I stay away. But I genuinely believe that man was heartbroken. I genuinely believe that man laid on his deathbed and wished he had seen his son grow up to be the man that I became. Not perfect, but I've overcome a lot. So I can have 100% empathy for knowing the mistakes that I've made in my life. I can have 100% empathy for the monumental mistake that man made of letting his son go. I have more forgiveness for him than I do my mother. But then on top of that, I had an adopted father who I grew up with, who in many ways modeled what a good man should be. He worked hard. He was up in the morning. He was out and gone all day. He came back home, only came home at night. He provided for his family. In some ways, he was stoic, didn't speak much. But the man never poured into me. I never once in my entire life felt loved by that man. And I think one of the mistakes that we make as men is we think that all we have to do is provide and that will show love. I don't know if that man loved me. I'll be completely honest. To this day, he passed. I don't know if he loved me. I know the point of unforgiveness for me was when I had to deploy to war and he wouldn't drive 3 hours to see me. Consequently, my biological mother wouldn't either. And so if you are dealing with this type of trauma, if you're dealing with this type of abandonment, to be given up or not cared for or not given love by the people that are supposed to love you no matter what, there is absolutely a trauma there. And I have no doubt that if you have a high achieving father or somebody that did amazing, there's this pressure to win for him. But if you're going to find any sort of peace in here, you need to come to terms with it. Either way. So what I want to challenge you to do today is I want you to write a letter that you may never send. Maybe you can't send it. Maybe your father is gone. But what I want you to do in this is I want you to say what you need to say. I want you to forgive. I want you to release. I want you to honor. Write to the man that he was, the man that you needed, The man that you're becoming, write it. Get it all out there. You can burn it out. You can bury it. You can keep it. Maybe for some of you, you can even send it, but stop running from it. Because the only way that you're ever going to become the man that you want to become is coming to terms with the man who showed you, for better or worse, what a man is supposed to be. If you got anything out of this video, please give us a like and subscribe. If you have a different take, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, keep living your life. Head down, horns up, salute.